Former President Muhammadu Buhari dies at 82 in London. Nigeria is in mourning following the confirmed death of former President Muhammadu Buhari, who passed away on Sunday, July 13th, in London at the age of 82. The announcement, made by his family and confirmed by the presidency, marks the end of a defining era in Nigeria's political and military history. According to his spokesman, Gubrashehu, Buhari died quietly in a London hospital around 4:30 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, after battling an undisclosed illness for several months. His health had long been a subject of speculation, especially during and after his presidency, with repeated medical trips abroad. A soldier, a ruler, a politician. Born on December 17, 1942, in Dora, Katsina State, Muhammadu Buhari first rose to national prominence as a military officer. A disciplined and austere figure, he seized power in a military coup in December 1983, ousting the civilian government of President Shehu Shagari. As military head of state, Buhari led with a firm hand, launching his famous war against indiscipline, a campaign remembered both for its orderliness and its harsh punishments. But history would remember him twice. In an astonishing political comeback, Buhari re-entered Nigeria's democratic space decades later, winning the 2015 presidential election after 3 failed attempts. Running under the newly formed All Progressives Congress, APC, he campaigned on promises to fight corruption, improve security, and revive the economy. He served 2 terms as civilian president, from 2015 to 2023, making him one of the few Nigerian leaders to rule both as a military dictator and a democratically elected president. A complicated legacy. Buhari's legacy remains complex and deeply polarizing. Supporters hail him as a man of integrity, a rare Nigerian leader who maintained a relatively modest personal lifestyle. Under his leadership, several high-profile corruption cases were pursued, and the fight against Boko Haram insurgents intensified, especially in the early years of his presidency. But critics point to a struggling economy, rising debt, widespread insecurity, and growing discontent among the youth. His handling of the hashtag #EndSARS protests in 2020, a movement sparked by police brutality, was widely condemned. Many accused his administration of silence in the face of injustice, and of being disconnected from the cries of the average Nigerian. His second term was also marked by food inflation, rising unemployment, fuel scarcity, and a weakening naira. To many, Buhari's promise of change fell short of the expectations that brought him to power. Final days and national reaction. In the months following his handover to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in 2023, Buhari remained largely out of the public eye. He reportedly spent much of his time between his hometown in Dora and the United Kingdom, seeking medical care. His death has sparked a wave of national reflection. President Tinubu, in an official statement, described Buhari as a patriot who dedicated his life to the service of the nation and declared 7 days of national mourning, with all flags to fly at half-mast across Nigeria. Leaders across Africa and beyond have sent in tributes, remembering Buhari as a man who shaped African politics for decades. Former presidents, governors, world leaders, and citizens alike have shared messages, some filled with grief, others with mixed emotion. The man behind the power. Away from politics, Buhari was known for his reserved nature. He kept a small inner circle and was married to Aisha Buhari, Nigeria's first lady, during his presidency. He was a father, a grandfather, and a devout Muslim. His life was marked by resilience, from military detention in the 1980s after he himself was overthrown in a coup, to weathering public criticism throughout his political journey. Whether revered or criticized, Buhari was never ignored. His name evokes strong emotions, and his time in office shaped modern Nigeria in countless ways. Burial and national plans. Details of his burial have not been fully disclosed as of press time, but sources indicate his body will be flown back to Nigeria for national honors and a state burial, likely in his home state of Katsina. Millions of Nigerians are expected to tune in for the ceremonies, marking the final farewell to a man who once held the highest seat of power twice. In his own words, "I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody." Muhammadu Buhari, inauguration speech, May 29, 2015. Rest in peace, Muhammadu Buhari. A soldier, a president, a chapter in Nigeria's history. If this news touched you in any way, positively or with reflection, leave your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe to stay informed on the stories that matter. This is News Nest, bringing you worldwide breaking news with depth and dignity.